Hey, everybody. Welcome on in. It is Wednesday. Hope you all are having a wonderful week. I had a long weekend, 4 days. We had the holiday on Monday, and then I took off an extra day on Tuesday. And man, it was nice. It was nice having a 4 day weekend. Of course, it always goes by so freaking fast, But I don't know. That's the way of things, I guess. We were supposed to have some friends over on I can't remember if it was Sunday or Monday, but they had to cancel at the last minute, family emergency. But we did end up going to the beach yesterday on Tuesday, and man, it was a nice day. It was freaking hot here. So we thought, hey, let's drive out to the beach. It's usually a lot cooler on the beach. And to be fair, it was, but it was still like a super sunny day on the coast, which I feel like never happens when we go anyway. And it was a nice, warm, pleasant beach day. You don't get a whole lot of those on the Oregon coast, in my limited experience anyway. I don't know. I've lived here for a few years now, but I still don't feel like I'm an expert or I'm a native or anything, silly like that. But I do feel like a lot of times I drive out to the coast, I'm hoping for like a nice beach day, and then it's just cold and windy, rainy. But yeah, yesterday was not that. It was a gorgeous day. Sat out on the beach, read a book, looked at some tide pools, and just enjoyed kind of being away from it all, that coupled with we were hoping some friends would come visit. It was kind of like our getting back to normal weekend. The after times have begun, sort of, kind of. That was the hope anyway. It's weird in practice though, right? Like, I don't know how many of y'all have gotten your vaccine shots and are kind of going back out to restaurants and stuff, but it's like it's not actually back to normal yet. Like, all of the restaurant staff are wearing masks. Plenty of people are still wearing masks, and of course now you have that feeling like, well, if I'm not wearing a mask, do people think I'm like some crappy anti-vaxxer or something like that? I don't know. There's a weird tension to everything still, and we'll see how things play out here in the next few months. But it's not quite as sharp a return to normal as maybe I had hoped. I'm not sure what I expected as opposed to hoped, but yeah. But yeah, it was nice going to restaurants and just walking around, and I don't know. It was nice to get out. I'm definitely a homebody, so the last year and a half, I'll be honest, has not been that hard for me. I mostly miss being able to go on road trips and go traveling, on planes and, that kind of thing. The staying home part was not that difficult for me, but not being able to go travel and go on a excursion whenever I wanted, that was a little harder. Small potatoes in the grand scheme of things, and certainly compared to a lot of other people, so I'm not really complaining or anything. But yeah, the beach was nice. One of the nicest beach days I've had since moving to Oregon, and already booked a Cannon Beach weekend for my birthday in October. We booked a Crater Lake trip for July. My mother-in-law is coming to visit here in a couple weeks, so it's turning into an action-packed year. Not to mention like holidays and stuff coming up. So yeah, things are picking up. Let's see what else is new. I guess I'm on an anime kick lately. I'm completely new to this. I mean, not really, but it feels that way. I mentioned on previous stream I started watching Neon Genesis Evangelion. I'm like halfway through that, I think, give or take. Really good, really bleak. not an enjoyable show. A weird show. Kind of funny sometimes, but mostly really dark and depressing. And then a friend recommended JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on Netflix. So I watched an episode of that today. After an episode, the show is still obviously like establishing its entire premise, so I'm not really passing any judgment on it, other than like I'm not used to watching anime. Most of the anime I've watched has been things like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, those movies. Well, the original anime movie, and then the new Scarlett Johansson movie. And then what else have I seen? I've seen that movie Your Name from a few years ago, which I loved. I absolutely loved that movie. I guess that's one of the highest grossing anime films ever, I think, if I remember right. That was very good. I watched Yuri on Ice. That's probably the last series that I watched, which I enjoyed, even though the sports format got kind of repetitive episode after episode. And other than that, I've mostly gotten my exposure to anime through video games, whether it's Persona, things like Final Fantasy, JRPGs in general. Tales of Berseria was one of the most anime things I've experienced recently, and that was a couple of years ago probably. So all of that to say, I feel like I don't have a lot of exposure to it, and or I see things that are influenced by anime, like Avatar and Legend of Korra, shows that I love, but they dial back some of the wackier elements of anime, at least that I've been seeing, like in this Neon Genesis Evangelion show, and in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's like all the emotions are turned up to 11. Like, there's like melodrama, and then there's like anime. Everything is just over the top. I know there's different genres and different moods and stuff, just like any other medium, I guess. There's different all kinds of different stories and genres within anime, just like anything else. I will say that like the creepy like fan service like is kind of a turnoff. Like just how it lingers on like women's bodies is really creepy. I don't know. That just makes me uncomfortable. But so far, I'm enjoying the shows that I'm watching. Otherwise, even if one is ridiculously bleak and the other is like ridiculously over the top. And from what I gather, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not particularly over the top in comparison to others. I'm saying all this from a position of complete ignorance, so take everything I say about that with a grain of salt. So yeah. What else is new? Right, so stream title, new schedule. It was on the starting soon page, but we are starting a 3-day-a-week stream schedule, which I'm really excited to start. So we'll be doing Wednesdays at this time, 7 p.m. Pacific, every week. Then we'll be doing Sundays at 8 a.m. Pacific, bright and early, and Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. I want to make sure that PM is acknowledged. We're not doing any 4 a.m. streams here. But yeah, that'll hopefully give us more time to hang out. We'll get through games a little quicker. I have a lot of games that I want to stream, and I want to be able to get through them. Right now, the plan is we'll stream 2 days a week of whatever the main game I'm playing is, like Disco Elysium. We'll do that on Wednesdays and Sundays. Tuesdays will be kind of a little more open. if I'm being honest, it will probably be a lot of Final Fantasy 14. I love streaming that game, and I like showing it off. So we'll probably do that, but we'll leave it open to other things. You know, maybe if we want to try something in a one-off, or maybe I just want to try something new, or stream a game that I'm playing, but you know, don't want to like go through it from the beginning to the end. You know, that kind of thing. Like, you know, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla off stream, but you know, sometimes it might be nice to just stream that and, you know, do it for a day and, you know, not feel any obligations to continue. I'm not sure. I definitely consider myself a variety streamer, which I think if anybody's been watching in the last few months won't be a surprise. I mean, we've been bouncing from game to game. But that can be hard. You know, some people view streamers for, you know, the one game that they like. Some people, you know, they don't want to watch a particular game because they don't want to get spoiled or whatever. So I know that I'm signing up for fluctuating viewers and, you know, interaction, all that good stuff. But right now, I don't see myself being someone who can just play one game on stream. I'm not saying it would never happen, but my personality is such that I really like variety and I really like novelty, basically. So yeah, that's the plan for now. I think that's all I have to say. I hope y'all are able to join me on these more frequent streams, and you know, I'm hoping people can just kind of chill out and relax and have a good time here. You know, whether you're chatting or you're lurking, you know, I'm happy to have any and all of you. I'm always so grateful when you all stop by, and I just hope that I can provide some entertainment to somebody in this world. So, yeah. So yeah, with that, I think we're gonna play a video game here. It's just going over here. So yeah, let's hit the continue button here. So we are in day 2 of this game still. We just inspected the body last time we streamed. We inspected it. We did a field autopsy. That gave us a lot of info. We had also we had interrogated the Hardy Boys, who are the union dock workers who, interestingly enough, confessed immediately to the murder of this poor guy here. This poor guy on the ground here. They immediately confessed to the murder. However, when we just did our field autopsy, we found that this guy was not hanged to death. He had a bullet lodged in his skull. It was very difficult to find, but we did find it. So I'm thinking we're gonna go back to the Hardy Boys here and kind of poke them in the eye a little bit. We're nearing the end of the day. You know, it's 5:30 in the evening, but we've still got plenty of stuff we can do here today, and yeah, I think it'll be good. So let's continue. Let's go ahead and head back to the hotel, and we'll talk to the Hardy Boys and see what they have to say about the fact that their so-called murder victim was not murdered by them, seemingly. And as always, let me know how audio and volumes and stuff are. Hopefully I haven't been talking into the void this entire time in terms of mic and game sounds. So yeah, just let me know, and we'll keep going. So all right, let's save, because we're about to kind of press these guys a little harder. And yeah, let's see what we have to say, what they have to say. Actually, hold on. Can we look through here yet? Behind the dock workers, a ceiling height window. We tried looking through this before, and the game came back and said it is not yet time to look through this window, which is very interesting, to put it mildly. So we'll see if we can do that now. Can we look? It's not time yet. You see that? Very low chance, -12. It's not time yet. I don't know. Let's revert our gaze. Okay, let's talk to, I think his name is Titus? Yes.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. I just found a bullet in the hangman's head, sir. Sir. A bullet, you say? He pats the back of his head. That's mighty curious. Indeed, mighty. How did it get there? The lieutenant is fixed on Titus. He gives you an indulgent look. Well, there are so many bullets in the world and so many heads. Not good enough, mister. He sighs deeply. I guess it's only logical. At some point, one of them bullets had to end up in one of them heads. Oh, you, sir. It's bound to happen again, you know. He taps on his right temple. Just statistically speaking, of course. Our drama personality. Sire, it would be an event most dramatic if you were to produce the bullet and dangle it before their very eyes. I'm going to ask you again. Why was this in the victim's head? Wow. The little man leans in to inspect the leaden blossom. He's got it in a real evidence bag and all. Why don't you go home and log it into evidence? These men have told you what happened. Well, I think the hanging was a cover-up for the shooting. You know what I think? He raises his finger. I think he was shot in the head as a kid, and his brain grew around the bullet. Just some weak-ass responses, dude. Around the bullet, man. Elaine pinches the root of his nose. That's a good one. All the goofing around is to avoid lying. It's a technique. I see. Alright, well, did you guys shoot him? Shit, he throws his head back. I probably did shoot him. I was drunk last night. You guys know me when I'm drunk. I mean, this guy was shot 7 days ago. Yeah, Glenn likes to shoot his guns when he's drunk. The little guy looks you in the eye. Better hope he stays sober. Threatening? No, he meant before he was hanged. Did you shoot him before you hanged him? Before? After? During? Elizabeth spreads her arms. This is getting ridiculous. They told you what happened. Stop wasting your time. Alright. We'll figure this out sooner or later, y'all. Never been worried in my life, lawman. He crosses his hairy arms, having forgotten his beer for a moment. It's not like you blew it wide open, but there's a little crack in there somewhere. Okay. Alright, fair enough. What if we want to talk about the hanging again? Oh, whoops. Or I could just click the wrong thing and leave. That's okay. We'll, I mean, let's save again. Why not, you know?
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Yep. How did you kill him? We hanged him by his neck. The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks and his hands were not tied. Can you explain that? The lieutenant goes in for the leg sweep. Titus does not see it coming. All right, this is new. We weren't able to ask this before because we had not performed the field autopsy. He looks even more irritated than before. Look, I'm not going to play 20 questions with you, Capo. I'll say it again. We killed him. Why are they saying this? Yeah, I knocked him out. The tattooed one speaks up, banging on his chest. Came up behind him and clubbed him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand. That's right, lawman. He spits through his teeth, and then we hanged the fuck. Okay, these are all new questions. We have a one-time skill check. Chances are pretty good, but they're not, the best. They could be better. So we're going to go through this list of questions one by one. Mr. Tats, what did you use to knock the victim out if you were such a badass about it? My fucking elbow, copper. He looks you straight in the eye. Samurai boxing style. Samurai boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves originating from the Samaran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Thanks, Encyclopedia. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details. Okay, where did all this Sambo action take place? Right fucking here. He sprays his hand. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar. Yeah, man, weren't you listening? Wasn't he a trained killer from Oranye's special forces? If yes, then how did you manage to overpower him? With numbers, asshole, how do you think? Titus looks at the woman. You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here. No, he hasn't. Not yet. Where did this overpowering happen? Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. He looks around. It happened right here. Okay, here we go. 92%. Things aren't quite right here, are they, gentlemen? Titus is solid as a rock. And so are a few others, but... Okay, we're talking to ourselves right now. So, tell me who's solid. We're asking ourselves who's the solid ones in this group. Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man. The least angsty of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. Okay. Shanky, this little rat-faced fellow is solid too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there. Eugene, him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there. Okay, who's cracking under the pressure? Fat Angus, this one. He's sweating profusely and has difficulty breathing. They've smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. All right. I'm excited, y'all. You about to crack this case wide open? All right. Hey, you. Turn to the big guy. You having trouble breathing over there? No. He looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from sweat. A few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat. Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is. The man next to the big guy bursts out laughing. Fuck off, Shanky. The big boss steps in. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle. Hey, we gotta level up. Composure. Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig. All right. There's something you're not telling me. And fuck you too, Copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing. Are you sure? This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet. Okay. Alright, so what are we going to do now? Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong. We have a new task to prove our authority to Titus Hardy. Interesting. I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. The lieutenant closes his notebook. I've done this job for long enough to know people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this. Good luck with that, Titus says. He grabs another beer. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is going to hear from us real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating. Interesting. Okay, so we have an authority skill check, which we can do again if we fail, which we're almost certainly going to fail it if we tried it now. So I'm not going to bother. I think we have some clothes that might boost our authority, but I mean, I don't think it's going to make a difference, right? Okay, one of our thoughts is finished percolating through our brain.
Cop of the apocalypse. It's not fire. It's not ash. There will most certainly be a sea of corpses leading up to the event. But it won't be war or pestilence that causes it. Oh no, the event will belong to a genre of cataclysm no man has dared to suspect would ever come to pass. You can only sense the shape of it, like a cavity, a pit opening up in your stomach, a throat into which the world will vanish. The streets, the grass, the stars, all will be rolled back. By whom, by what, and how?
R4, hey,
know.
buddy.
All you know is
Welcome
you're
on
not
in.
joking around.
How is your evening going? You can get a shout out going for you. Thanks so much for the raid. I think I got that right. You were last seen playing Fortnite. Excellent, excellent. How is Fortnite these days? I still have yet to actually play it. I feel like I should at this point, just so I have like minimum literacy of, you know, the game. But yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you. We're just getting started with Disco Elysium tonight. Well, I mean, we've been playing it for a few weeks now, but the stream has just started. We are solving a murder. Trying to, anyway, and some men who happily admitted to causing the murder, well, we don't believe them. So we just put the screws to them a little bit, as they say. And we're going to have to come back here when we have a bit more information, I think. But it's going good. It's going good. Hope your week and evening are going well. Pretty chill evening here, I think. Fortnite is fun. I just played team deathmatch type gameplay. Little building required. Just get guns and shoot. Got it. My entire experience of Fortnite is seeing clips and things on YouTube videos, you know, like video game clips and stuff. So I have not played it. I don't think I've even installed it at any point. I guess there's no reason not to. It's free, right? But yeah. Like so many other games, I will try it one day, probably long after the zeitgeist has passed. Because that's how I roll around here. I think the last thing I saw about it was they added a Mistborn skin, or they're going to, from the Mistborn fantasy novels, which is pretty cool, I think. It's definitely one of those games I enjoy reading about, kind of like EVE Online or Warframe, or, you know, any of these games that can take up a ton of time and that millions upon millions of people are playing, but I somehow remain kind of ignorant of regardless. So yeah, good job, Epic. Good job making that game, making all that money. So we have a level up here. The question is, this game is fantastic. This is a replay for me. I first played this last year, so we're going through it again. First time on stream. It is a really, really chunky RPG. These are all the different skills that your stats / skills. This is the character sheet, and all of these different skills applied, like, basically describe different facets of your character's personality. And like I said, we just gotta level up, so I'm debating which skills to put points into. We went with a kind of nerdy thinker type character. So that's kind of what we're leaning towards. There's no traditional combat in this game, but there are a ton of dice rolls, like just straight up RPG dice rolls, you know, based on your stats here. And most dice rolls, if you fail them, you can try them again, but there are certain ones that you can only try once. So, you know, it's kind of a one and done type of deal. To me, it feels like a very full-fledged RPG. I've heard some people say, oh, it's just a visual novel because it doesn't have combat. You know, I don't tend to get tied up in knots thinking about, you know, how to categorize games. To me, it's an RPG. and one of the best written games I've ever played. Absolutely. So if you like games with a lot of words, this is a game for you, for sure. Takes place in a fictional like universe. None of these places are real, but everything's recognizable and familiar, I think. So yeah. You have all these character skills, and then you have a thought cabinet where you kind of ruminate on a thought, and that gives you bonuses and penalties, you know, depending on the thought that you have internalized, you know. So the question is always, you know, do I want to internalize a new thought, or do I want to put more points into my skills? And I'm just not 100% sure. I don't know, maybe a boost to reaction speed would be helpful. The thing is, you never really know what skills are going to be checked against. So, and I think the game sort of molds itself around your character's skills to kind of give you a path appropriate to how you build your character. I don't know that for sure. I sort of suspect it to be the case, but I don't know. Yeah. Maybe let's just keep dumping points into visual calculus. This is like the CSI, like crime scene investigation skill. Like you can just look at a scene and you kind of like Sherlock Holmes it in your brain and figure out what happened. So that's a fun skill. So maybe we'll go with that. Okay, so we have a new task to prove our authority to Titus. So basically that just says go talk to other people, learn more about this entire situation, and come back, and maybe that will be useful. I don't know. Let's run around. Let's just run around a bit. Do some of these tasks. We were pretty focused on the investigation last time, so I'm thinking maybe this time will be a little more free-form, I think. So yeah. Let's wander around town. Got some good tea tonight. If you hit the exclamation point T command, you can find out what kind of tea I'm drinking. Otherwise, it shall remain a mystery forever. Let's see here. Let's go talk to the little girl here.
Hello, sir.
Oh, there's a person hanging out here.
How's the investigation going? Found any curses yet?
Okay. All right, let's chat Annette up here. I found a way into the doomed commercial area. Yes, we have a curse to investigate. We might do that today. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's great. I hope exciting adventures lie ahead. And maybe you can help Mother become less afraid.
We can't do this check again. I forgot what we were checking here exactly. This was several streams ago. But yeah, hopefully we can come back here later. Okay, bye, Annette. Let's talk to this gentleman over here. I think it's a gentleman. It is not a gentleman. Okay, working class woman. You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. A good one? Point at the book.
Hello?
She nods, her attention fully focused on reading. Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Does anybody say that? I'm just a working class woman? Other than like politicians, you know, oh, got the real working class stiffs over here. I don't know. Maybe they do. She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. I mean, that's fair. She was reading a book, minding her own business. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working? I mean, it's a fair question.
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good.
It is.
I'm a policeman. This is an awkward conversation.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the book stand. She does not want to talk to us. What with? A lot of things. For example, people tend to go missing. Maybe your husband is missing and we can solve the crime? My husband? No, he's not. Okay, so where could he be? I don't know, at home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working? Kim's like, where is this going, officer? So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is. It's 7:39. Do you know where your children are? Yes, but... She looks around and takes a breath, a little annoyed. I don't really need to know where my husband is, not all the time. But wouldn't you like to? No. She looks you straight into the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband, ma'am. Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband. Maybe your children are missing. Man, our cop is a desperate cop. Like, I just want something to investigate. No, absolutely not. Her words come out quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they? I'm terrified of what response we're gonna get. Are you a policeman or a nanny? She's definitely disturbed by now. I regret this entire line of questioning. I police wherever I want. Where are they? They're not missing, sir. You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. They are at home, right? Smoking cigarettes? What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Jamrock. There's nothing to worry about. Ease off, buddy. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now. I'm afraid the danger is now greater than ever. Tell me, how old are they? We're going to go down. I regret this, and yet we're going to continue. We're not going to back off of our chosen path. My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month, but we shouldn't even be talking about them. Can you describe them? Any features that stand out? Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they are not missing? They're in Jamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party. It's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional here. There is no investigation here, I can tell you that. She picks up a book and tries to concentrate. A flock of seabirds passes by. What about your cockatoo? Because we know she has a cockatoo, apparently. I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here. Facts. This is a correct statement. For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get like this. It's better to indulge him at this point. Thank you, Cam, for being on my side. Ma'am, I was asking about your cockatoo. Is it missing? I don't even have a cockatoo, and guess what? It's a trap. Never say what. What? Even if I had, it wouldn't be missing. All right. Cockatoo not missing. I just wanted to be sure. Can never be too sure. Great. Just one more question. What did you mean by me being a cockatoo? Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore. Oh, hell yeah. Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain or your heraldic bird? Ooh. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you for the tip. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. The store is open. Let's look at her browse books because that's a normal thing that a human being does. Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. Another comrade. Years of labor are pressing down on her shoulders. She deserves a hug for all the work she's done for mankind. Okay, let's give her a hug. We're about to get punched, I think. You step in and close your arms around this foreign body, wandering astray in touch. There's a small movement beneath your hands as you shut your eyes. Then a tiny voice breaks out and asks, "What is happening?" She seems to be confused. Your hands are wrapped around her polyester coat. The fabric feels cold, moist from the sea nearby. Let's keep hugging her. The situation is oddly intimate. Your cheek is pressed against her shoulder. Her hand is trapped between your chest. 5 seconds pass, and their passing seems so unimaginably long. Then she coughs and says again, what are you doing, officer? I'm fighting for the working class? Fighting for it how? She hasn't let go of your embrace yet. A hug a day keeps the bourgeoisie away. Oh. There's a strange sensation as the woman strengthens her grip. She's hugging you back. Well, this is a wholesome moment now, maybe? I guess it's better than nothing. Keep fighting on, my fellow comrade. Then she breaks up the hug, her cheeks flushed. Is there anything else I can help you with? No. I'll let you read now. The woman before you nods and returns to her reading. Well, that was weird. R4, if you're still watching, that whole interaction kind of sums up this game. It's weird, it's verbose, it's very unique. You memorize the title, Lose 87, Radio City. Seems important. Alright, let's head on in. Good. Hope you saw that madness. Oh boy. Let's talk to this weirdo again.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
She wants us to investigate the curse, whatever that is.
Oh. What about?
I'm looking for a book about cockatoos. Well, there should be one upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies. Hell yeah! All right, let's find it. Right next to the shelf of biographies. I don't know which one of those that is. This is crime novels. What is this? A Guide to a Well-Behaved Cockatoo. A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title, From A to Zreek, A Guide to a Well-Behaved Cockatoo. Let's flip through the pages. Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species and they all have behavioral problems. So when she said that we were being a cockatoo, she knew what she was talking about. You don't have behavioral problems. That's garbage. You're cool. Yeah, sure, buddy. It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious. We can try to steal the book. I mean, why not try it? You wait for the storekeeper to be distracted. When she's not looking, you haul the tome of cockatoos into your pocket. Okay. It's quite a challenge, but eventually the guide to cockatoos is yours. Splendid effort. GG's, everybody. Okay. So we have a book on cockatoos. Oh, we can interact with this bullet. Let's see what happens when we do that. Okay, this is the bullet we fished out of the body. So, okay, quick tangent here. The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label in the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. What do I do with you, bullet? What? The lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, bullet? Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me. It's a good idea. Good thinking, Kim. Find the murder weapon. Okay. If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better. It's true. Okay. Feel the bullet through the bag. The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. Okay, let's inspect it closer. The jacket of the bullet is made of yellowish metal. It is blossomed out to reveal a dark gray core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. Let's look at the jacket. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. Okay, what about the core? It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. Right, the brain, as it were. What can you say about the bullet so far? Well, it's jacketed close to 5 millimeters. A jacketed bullet, okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzle loader like those typically found on the streets of Martinaise. Okay, so a fancy gun. Interesting. Okay. Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century. Even the RCM uses ordinary, unjacketed, conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it. Okay, we have a low chance of just figuring it out from our own brain. I don't know. Do we have any... I don't know why you can't check your inventory. I was going to say, do we have any items that would boost our hand-eye coordination, but we would probably be wearing them if we did. So, okay. I guess we're done with it. Good to know. Let's... Oh, whoops. Let's just double-check our clothing, see if we have anything. We're looking for hand-eye coordination boosting stuff. Yeah. No, we don't have anything. Okay. Find your heraldic bird. Oh, right. If we read the book, maybe we'll find it. Okay, let's read up on our heraldic. I don't know how to say that word. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Face-à-la-Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues. Okay. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang-bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated. So if we read this, we're going to pass time. Do we want to do that? And do I want to read about cockatoos on stream? Not really. Let's you know what? I'm fine passing time. Let's just see what there is to see here. Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy nature, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. Boy, man, when you run into a person who just does not know when to shut up, it is like the most excruciating situation I've ever been in. And I've known multiple people like this who just talk and they talk and they talk and they talk and they don't let you get a word in and they just keep going and they keep going and they keep going. It's impressive in its own way. I mean, I can't just keep words falling out of my mouth like ad infinitum, you know, but some people can do that. And I kind of hate them a little bit. All right. I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely. Okay, we're gonna go with we're okay with the chattiness here. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as reoccurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream nonstop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive. That's pretty bad. Anything else? It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day. Cook them food. Wow, these are needy birds. Needy birds indeed. And give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of their own. Okay. Well, we're passing a lot of time. We've passed like 16 minutes, so we're going to put this away. And maybe we'll come back to this. Who can say? Can we steal other books? I think this one might be important later, but we're going to leave it for now. look through the shelf. Okay. Okay, alright, nothing new there. I do love a good bookstore, though. Man, you know, I've spent the last week, like, going to restaurants again and experiencing that aspect of the before times again, but... Man, I should go to a bookstore. I haven't been to a bookstore in forever. Okay, lots of crime fiction. Lots of books. We're passing time, apparently. Lots of Dick Mullen mystery books. Huh, who is Dick Mullen? Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. Right? Yeah, right. Barnes & Noble, like, you know, we've got some local bookstores. We've got Powell's bookstore, you know, that's big here in Portland. Although Powell's, at least the one in downtown Portland, is super cramped at the best of times. So I don't know if I would want to go in that one, but there is another one closer to us. So, man, bookstores are like my favorite place, basically. You know, I don't think we have a half-price books here. But I have to double check. I forget that is a thing that exists. But I know there are other, like, used bookstores here, like, around town, like, little, you know, independent shops and stuff. I've been trying to read more lately because I don't know, I've had trouble focusing, but I've been trying to make a point of reading lately, and I'm slowly making my way through The Lies of Locke Lamora, which is a really good fantasy novel. I'm almost halfway through it, I guess. Maybe not quite, but very enjoyable. I just really have trouble lately focusing enough to read. It bums me out because, like, I used to read voraciously, just ridiculous amounts. And in the last few years, I've just really fallen off of it. I play a lot more video games instead. Like, that's what I kind of gravitated to. I don't know if it's just like my tastes have changed, or maybe I don't know, maybe I can't focus anymore. I don't know what it is. I love reading, and like this Lies of Locke Lamora book is really good, and I love finding a good book, you know. But I don't read as much as I used to. It bums me out. It actually bums me out. But I don't, you know, it's not like I can force myself to do more reading. I get distracted, or I, like, fall asleep. It's weird. So I don't know. Maybe it's like getting old. I don't know. I mean, I'm reading this game and Tyranny, which we played a few months ago on stream, have a very novelistic quality to them. I mean, part of that is just the sheer amount of text, but it's written well enough that it could pass for a book if somebody adapted it into that, you know? So I guess these are the books I read these days. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Why does this speak to me? Could it be that motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy, full of contradictions. Then this is the book for you. $8. We're going to leave it. Okay. Let's see if we can steal any other books. What do we got here? We got board games here, I believe, if I remember correctly. Expensive board games. Okay, we're gonna leave that. And then we've got, I think these are the Hjemdal. Lots of Hjemdal. These are like Conan books in this world. Okay, well, we can't get any of them, so All right, let's investigate a curse. I haven't read through a book since high school. Last book I read was Ender's Game. Got all kinds of video game guides if you want to call those books. Yeah, no, well, hey, I mean, Ender's Game is a great one to like be your last book. You know, I mean, Ender's Game is a great book. The sequel, Speaker for the Dead, is also really good. But Ender's Game, you know, and I even liked the movie that came out a few years ago. The adaptation with what is his name? Asa something. I forget the kid's name who played him, but it was actually pretty good. I mean, it didn't like blow my socks off or anything, but it was decent as far as adaptations go. Oh, you have it on 4K? Yeah, I bet that'd be a good one on 4K, actually. All right, let's investigate this curse. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. Strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains. Okay. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen. A small, terrified "oh" escapes from Plaisance as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. All right, let's see what's in here. What do we have here? Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. Oh, this was like a salon back in the day, apparently. Okay. What do we have on the wall here? A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Okay. Let's go through this door here. A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. Let's knock on the door. Only an echo. No one is there. A hollowed out, dark echo. Okay, well, we could try... we could try to break down the door, but we have a key, so why would we do otherwise? Okay. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. Let's enter first. We won't make Kim go first. That's a shit move to do. Interesting. Oh, Kim has something to say. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. Okay, Kim. How you doing, buddy?
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. It's the netherworld. Beyond the veil. We are continuing to say as many weird, creepy, apocalyptic things as we can. No, it's a gym, he disagrees, though it looks like no one's been here in ages. Well, if you want to be boring about it. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on. Good point. Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest. What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages? Yes, because it's closed, Kim says. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we? Oh, fine. Okay, let's equip our flashlight. Right. Yeah. Here. I suspect we'll need a crowbar at some point in here, so we'll just get that equipped as well. It's cool how he kind of moves the light with your mouse pointer. That's kind of neat. Hey, it's a ball on the ground. We have a quest to find a ball. Shot put ball. We did it. Okay, great. The poster says, Sitius Fortis. The rest is worn off. Okay. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. I don't think our character really has the strength for that. Visual Calculus says there are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Yeah, 8% chance for that. Look, Kim, it's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell. You're right, the weights may fall off. Better not touch it then. What kind of a bastard would just remove the collars? It should be a felony. It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating. But it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore. Could we boost our physical ability? Also, I thought I saw a thought. Yeah, here we go. Smells like leather and sweat. So physical ability, right? This boosts our physical ability. Anything else? Probably not. So before it was 8% chance. What is it now? 17% chance. No, well, you know what? There's no harm, probably, hopefully. Let's try it. Let's lift the barbell. Nope. Damaged health. You manage to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. Whatever, weightlifting is for the intellectually impaired anyway. It was never my favorite either. The lieutenant is obviously handling you. At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running. It clears your head. The lieutenant steps away from the barbell, letting you recover in peace. All right. Good enough. Let's put our white satin shirt back on. Let's well, yeah, let's put another point into our health here. And let's walk up here. Because I think we found everything else there is to find in this room. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Okay. Kind of spooky, not gonna lie. That is spooky. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. I don't know what it... Oh, right, okay. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Oh, this music. I don't like this music. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. Interesting. What do we have here? A naked mannequin torso, a strangely yellow color. Right, because that's perfectly normal. Want some money? Money's good. Blue velvet, soft to the touch. Moth bitten. More money. Steel rotor blades bearing a Slipstream logo. This contains a production schedule filament memory. Okay, so like a disc, basically, maybe? Skis with Slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Okay. Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here. Okay, I don't get it. Look. The skis and rotor blades both bear the name Slipstream, the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other. But why? Which did they start with, and which did they pivot to? That's a good question. Thanks, brain. What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. Reality is ruthless. Is this Emma's atelier? Wait, who's Emma? Emma's atelier. Shoot, I don't remember who that's referring to. Okay, well, maybe we'll be reminded later. But where are the clothes it used to display? Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. Okay, let's look at the drawings. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic, translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. All right, R4, thanks for stopping by, buddy. It's always good to see you, and hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care. You should adopt one of these welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. I like this idea. One of the welkins, towering above the rest, appears to be different, however. Okay, let's examine this. This is important. It's Varahamira, a high welkin. His face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. Okay. The Hulder, the Dweorg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all. The lieutenant can't help but comment. An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Okay, Kim. Why would anyone spend so much time on this? Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game. Ah, we're making a game. Okay. One of them is a Welkin supremacist. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too. The lieutenant nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on. Just look at those details. So much effort. Okay, the photos. The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees groaning under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds abandoned in a storm, animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. It's quite evocative. Quite evocative. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers by boreal Dweorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Pinned postcard reads, The Heat Death Scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. Okay, that's an interesting idea for a world, like a planet floating through space without a sun. Alright, schedule. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Mini-Me stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. Okay, so we're having a little bit of a meta moment here. Apparently somebody was making a game. I don't know if it's a video game or a tabletop game or what, but that's what we're looking at here, randomly and apparently. All right, let's keep reading. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. Wow. Looks like they didn't make it. The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, See the production schedule filament for details. We found the production schedule filament. Okay, let's look at the notes. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out, Wirral untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. The full text reads, Heat Death of the Universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Okay, so I think we're looking at people making like a D&D clone, basically. Was that everything? Yeah, that was everything. Okay, what is this? Frequency fireplace. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kedron mosaic tiles. Very pedantic. Okay, hold on. How do I know what Kedron mosaic tiles are supposed to look like? History classes. Students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. These aquarelle blue tiles look beautiful in the sun. Okay, what am I looking at? It sounds like you're looking at a whiteboard to me. Radio frequencies, it seems. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Interesting. Radio frequencies for what? Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system, split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. Of course, the anatomy of the curse. Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station at once? They must have had massive air width. These things don't come cheap. Okay, so who's the Game Master? Someone very important. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency. Okay. So if it's a game, then who's playing? Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Mundi, Insolinde, Katla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off. Okay. My god. The lieutenant leans closer, his finger tracking the maddening rhizome. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. This is absolutely a meta commentary on indie game development here. So it sounds like they're describing like an ongoing D&D game with hundreds of players who call into a radio station. I don't play D&D. I haven't the faintest idea how something like that would work, but that's what I'm seeing here. The cost of air width alone must have been huge. Exactly. He nods at the calendar on the chalkboard, wiping his marker-stained fingers clean against his jacket. This schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. Yikes. What else? Nothing. It's just lines on marble, an echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Interesting. And we auto-saved here. That sounds like it's an important thing. Okay, what do we have here? Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. Okay. So, what are you? Computer? A mainframe. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer. A radio computer, says the lieutenant, watching you circle around the machine. Just sitting here without anyone in sight. He sounds surprised and a bit cautious. What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? Good question. This is the REM Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a field mainframe and a REM-compatible printer. Let's turn it on. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing virescent play and print keys on the keyboard. This sound effect is fantastic. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open. Let's look inside the compartment. It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment. All right, let's put it in. Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. Okay, let's press play. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Almost done our tea here, which is a little sad, I'll be honest. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good evening, Fortress Accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
Okay.
Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What's the production schedule? The filament you have inserted into the reader. Okay. Have you inserted it into the core? Yes. Good. Please repeat the password. This is the police. Please open this thing. The voice recites, I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament. Interesting. I'm afraid we're not doing that unless we want to wait for a month. Okay. Okay. Can you please repeat the password? The voice in the damp machine asks again. She sounds cold in the damp air. Can you give me a hint? No. A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations. Is it my birthday? No. I don't know the password. Received. I will register this login attempt. Oh no. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later. Okay, the video game is telling us it'll be okay. Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today? Why did you call me Fortress Accident? Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you're currently using has been registered to. Well, do you have any other information about this company? I'm quite intrigued by them. One moment, you hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says. That's not bad. So conceptual. And what's that, this interactive call-in radio game? The static drowns her response. Any other questions? You hear her ask when the connection finally improves. So we're not going to find out. Okay, what are you, a machine or are you alive? Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne. The lieutenant whispers into your ear. She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid. I mean, it's true. Speaking as a programming person, it is true. Man, did you all hear about Amazon making it so that all of their smart home devices are going to share your internet with your neighbors? And you have like a limited number of days to opt in or opt out, I should say. This is why I don't have smart home devices. Like, it is a stereotype that tech people are super suspicious of tech, and I've never wanted a smart speaker in my house. I do not want something listening to me like that. Granted, my phone is definitely listening to me, waiting to say, hey Siri, but I don't know. You don't have to double down on that kind of thing. And thankfully, my phone did not respond to that statement earlier. But yeah, that is messed up. Like, it's just going to share your internet with people. And if you don't opt out in time, then you just don't have a say in the matter. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. Anyway. Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am? I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian Repeater Station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, some static. Then, I'm sitting in my cubicle surrounded by a wall of radios. Now please tell me if there's anything else I can do for you, Fortress Accident. That is all for now. Maybe we'll find a password. Thank you and goodbye. The old lady's voice disappears along with the static. Okay, let's take this with us for now. And we'll leave. Kim has something to say, apparently.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making? Yes, that is the question. The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands. Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box. Give it to me, Kim. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games, only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers. Okay. How were they planning to do this? Through call-in stations. He nods at the fireplace. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game as long as they have a two-way radio. It's like a form of the internet, basically. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sort. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies. Yeah. Has anyone ever done this before? Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. Not in Revachol West, among the ruins. Okay, good to know. I don't think anyone has attempted to create an intersolari game before. We just don't have the technology. This was a role-playing game? Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. He points to the chalkboard. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the Wirral board game with heat death thrown in. Oh, right, we found these board games in the bookstore and we ignored them. But interesting, good to know. Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished. So says our conceptualization skill. Well, what do you think happened to the company? I think we can guess. They stopped filling out the schedule. Wow. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but the lieutenant tilts his head, thinking. The world is cold and lonely. This would keep it company. Let's finish it. Let's do it, you guys. A half smile breaks out on Kim's face. It's too late for that, I'm afraid, he says, looking around the derelict room. The pipes howl, and a rat crosses the floor. Okay, let's keep moving. Oh, too bad. We have two doors, or at least two paths, I guess. Let's see what else we got down here. Interesting. What is this? Safety curtains. An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. Okay. This must be where the entity lives. Ooh. Okay, let's knock on it. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Let's knock harder. Still nothing. No one's home. Knock even harder. Oh. Okay. Those curtains proved to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. You would think that my equipped pry bar would protect us, but apparently not. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another way to get in. Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things? I need to find the malignant entity, Kim. This is the chimney. The lieutenant sighs. Ghosts aren't real. Didn't your parents tell you that? In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further. Okay, we will. The floorboards creak. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. I guess there's a roof leak in here. All right, what do we have in here? A postcard. Okay. Okay, I guess that's all that there is to do here. Onwards. Oh, the tea is gone. Just drops. Okay. What do we have here? Money and more magnesium. We are drowning in magnesium. Oh, hello, creepy bear. You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. Interesting. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear. The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door. Let's crack open the door. A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun. Relax, Cam, it's a fridge. Of course, just a giant ice bear shaped fridge. He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door. Let's take a look. The shelves are empty. All you see are crumbled ice cream wrappers with the brand name Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. Let's take the note. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. Let's look at the ice cream wrappers. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. Okay. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Man, I love ice cream. I just gotta say, apropos of nothing, I fucking love ice cream. Anyway, what is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place? Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore? I know, says the lieutenant. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day. The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge. That's true. The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic. Oh god, okay. Good to know. Had some stuff up here. This looks like a furnace. I guess we were looking for a furnace earlier. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. Okay. What do we have in here? Central furnace. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Kim, is this a furnace? Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside. No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire, only dead rats. Let's look inside. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness, you can hear chatter. It's coming from above, a voice or several voices talking to each other near the smoke chamber upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them. Interesting. What are you doing? The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity. Wait, really? The lieutenant sounds concerned. Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not safe. Oh boy. Okay. Let's smear our hands with coal because the video game is giving us the option to do so. A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. I mean, we're wearing gloves, so like, how bad could it actually be? Those voices I heard. Maybe it's the malignant entity? Plaisance said it lives in a chimney. You're right, the rooms do look like they're connected, but Malignant entities don't exist, at least not the supernatural kind. Always has to be the skeptic, this man. Well, let's put on our muscle shirt that boosts our physical instrument, and let's see if that helps us out here. Yell hello into the furnace. Hey, we did it. Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then...
Hello?
I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Ah, the locked door. Okay, that we punched and got hurt from. Okay. You hear a low rumble upstairs, the sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Nice job, everybody. Let's not kick things, I think. Well, you know what? We have been actually punching as many things as we can, so let's be consistent with our character. Damaged health. All right, we've healed up. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts. I bet it does. Bent metal. Broken glass. Your path lies strewn with the broken forms of everyday objects. We have been punching a lot of things. You are the destroyer, the bane of inanimate objects. Gaze upon me, stuff, and despair. Kudos. Thought gained. Anti-object task force. Excellent. Okay, let's put on our smart shirt. And, well, let's see what else is in here before we head back upstairs. What is this? This is an ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. Interesting. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Interesting. Can we get through? Ah, yeah, there we go. Okay. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck busted guns beneath the ceiling. There are guns everywhere, apparently. Oh, okay. You can kind of make out the guns here. It's hard for me to see. I can't imagine it's any easier on stream, but just take my word for it. There are guns here. And what do we have here? A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see. Where are we? Look around the secret room. Seems like an old bunker from the Revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. He points up at the rifles under the ceiling. Must be an old weapons cache. So we've heard and learned that there was a failed revolution here. I want to say 50 years prior. So that's what this bunker, like what the time period must be from. Look, there's a hole in the wall. There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Do you want to take a look? Hell yeah, we do. Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Rifles, Kim? Are these any good? Most of them are rusty and inoperable like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock. In better cosmetic order than the others. Let's take it. An old Belle Magrave. Belle Magrave? Magrave? From the Revolution. The lieutenant notes with approval. His eyes are gleaming. Seems to no longer be functional, but still, a beautiful thing in its own way. Could the murder weapon we're looking for be similar? I mean, we're looking for a gun. It's the same type of weapon, yes, a breech loader. An interesting coincidence that we should find something so similar, but I'm afraid our search for the real murder weapon must continue. What does it all mean, Kim? It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future. I mean, we want to talk to the old guy again. We found a ball for him. We found his photo, and now we have found a revolutionary rifle. So he might be a lot more inclined to speak with us in the future. Maybe. Kim likes this find. Okay. That's everything. All right, let's head back out. We have something here. Gosh, the movement speed is slow. Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Interesting. Okay. We have money, and we have, more +1 health drugs, which is good, because we've kind of been going through healing items. This is a breaker box. 2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Okay, well, I don't know why we would unplug either of these. Let's keep looking around first. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Okay. Oh, is this the entrance? Oh, we found a shirt. Cool. Is this the entrance, the locked door that we found earlier? I think it might be. It is. It is. Cool. And we can get back in, so. Nice. Okay. Let's head back in. We still gotta talk to that woman who we heard through the chimney. Okay. But before that, more money, I think. Yep. And a cellar window, people's feet shuffling by on the street. So I think that's it. So let's, well, we have this breaker box, that this one here that goes to the fridge up there. And then this ice cream maker. I don't know why we would want to unplug these. Black one goes to the ice cream maker. Let's unplug the black one, I guess. Something close to you dies. Why did you do that? Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos, Kim. The lieutenant raises his brows but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing. Okay. Unplug the red cable. The room is slightly quieter now. Plug in the black cable. I don't know. I don't really get what we did there. The bear's eyes are dead and empty because we killed the power. Okay. All right, let's just head back up. I don't know what the point of that was. Oh, boy. You know, I had that 4-day weekend and I need like another 4 days. That would be great. And then another 4 after that. That would be wonderful. Okay, we are heading, back this way. Let's jog back up. Oh, right, this door was closed before, so now we can walk up here. Oh, this is well lit, actually. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. Cool. We like dice. We like dice here. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Wow. Okay. Hello, person.
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair. This is nice music.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
I don't know. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching. Okay. Interesting. Okay, but before that, what do you mean by milieus?
Yes, a milieu is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
Okay, we were just learning about two-way radios with the peer-to-peer game that we ran into.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window, ma'am.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
I love dice. I mean, maybe. Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know, the one made by Fortress Accident? Does that count? I like role-playing games. I need some dice. Or maybe, I'm not really sure why I'm here, honestly. Or we can say, I was looking for something else. Answers. Or, I'm not interested in buying dice right now. I'm a police officer and I need to ask some questions. I'm going to put it up to chat. If y'all are watching on desktop, you'll be able to vote for your choice here. If not, you can just type in your choice in chat. That's fine too. And if not, I will pick one of these. I don't know. We haven't done much of the chat-driven dialogue choices today for whatever reason. We did a bunch last time. There were some good ones. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm leaning towards just I like role-playing games and I need some dice. So we'll do that.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual.
I mean, 10 real is like almost half our money.
Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. Ooh, I wish I could see this like in real life. It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need. How did you become a dice maker? All right, let's go through this. How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Much like Twitch streaming. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Do you like playing the RPGs yourself? Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players are, as customers, they're nice people. I believe it. Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items. No, nerds don't have lots of disposable income at all. What are you talking about? I'd like to order a die from you. Of course. That is what I'm here for. Tell me what you have in mind. Do you have any cursed dice? What do you mean by cursed? Abracadabra, perish like this world. Alright, how about I surprise you? Come back in 8 hours with 7 real and I'll give you your cursed dice. Hell yes. It's a deal. Okay, on to serious business. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags? Nothing really. I didn't know him, but did you see it? The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window. Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening. I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window. What do you mean by the daily ruckus? Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. She stops to try and come up with an example. During daytime, there are usually those kids, and lately I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike. Okay, fair enough. She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire. Okay. I like how our drama personality like just tells us this person is lying or this person is not lying. It just knows. It knows how to act, basically. She looks up at the window. Pale light comes in. But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid. And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window. I might have, she admits, but in this case all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's light here, dark in the yard at night. Okay. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone. Well, do you often work Sunday nights? It's an odd profession, making dice for people, but I like it. And I prefer doing this to sitting at home. Okay, thanks. Where are we anyway? What is this place? We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there. Soot. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Plus, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus. Must be nice. Creative, Kim says. The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses. Okay, so we're here to investigate the curse. I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know what that people call the doomed commercial area? I've heard the stories. She nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above. But I don't think those stories are true. Well, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail. That is true. Well, Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies. Plaisance, the bookshop lady? She raises her brows. I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow? We can say Plaisance is a wise woman. She has Semini's trinkets protecting her against the curse. Or we could say, actually, the bookstore is not doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail, even her. Or I don't know why. That's what I'm here to investigate. I don't know what to pick here. Let's go weird. Plaisance is a wise woman. She has Semini's trinkets protecting her against the curse. Ah, the Semini's trinkets, of course. She nods as if this explains everything. But it doesn't. This is merely a sarcastic response. Alright, but it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex. Wait, the Whirling is part of the doomed commercial area? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. Well, the Whirling isn't doing well. Its waitress just took off and the customers, meaning me, have trouble paying bills. And then there's me, she sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters. I've been here for 14 years selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million real idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it? Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse. Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. Malignant entity? What does that even mean? The dice maker laughs. Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity? Yes, I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously. So I'm the grand dragon in the cave. She seems mildly entertained by this suggestion. Might I ask what supports this claim? Well, yeah, I yelled to summon the ghost of the doomed commercial area, and you were the one who answered. Oh my, she says in mock despair. I've revealed myself. You better call the exorcists. I don't have to call anyone. I'm a ghost whisperer myself. Of course. She pinches the root of her nose. How convenient. Well, if you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know. She turns back to her work. That's all she has to say on the subject. She has been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance needs to hear about this. Perhaps if you combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation. If we had a higher Shivers skill, we could find out, why hasn't her business failed? Alas. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone, including Fractured Fortress, or whatever it was called. More or less, are you interested in anyone specific? I mean, not really, but okay. There used to be a hair salon here. Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. I mean, it's true. It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded. I guess it just wasn't the time yet. Okay, what happened to the gym? It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemetep's Boxing Club, a community project created to steer at-risk youths away from drugs and crime. And who was Artemetep? A kind man from Simsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back. Maybe Kuno needs a community-centric boxing club. Kuno. Who's Kuno? Man, she doesn't know who Kuno is. It's wild. He's sort of the king around here. Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. She looks out of the window, her face reflecting back in the dark. I think it will take more than a gym to help that kid. Okay. Judging from the kids I met, it didn't really work, did it? It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines. Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since. Interesting. Alright, well, what's up with the broken windows? Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff mildews. Who would have guessed? Interesting. What's a snuff mildew? And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway, and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own. Cool, very cool. But what's a snuff milieu? It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it. Yikes. Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world. Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-Rosas. The lieutenant turns to you. This isn't our problem. Okay. Fair enough. Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around. Did we? Mounts? Mounts. You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Right, mounts as in mounted, like, heads and stuff. We did see those. I found creepy mannequins. There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I've forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years until the insect rights activists came. I didn't know insects had any rights or activists. Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin suppliers, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection. But insects don't have any brains or feelings. Actually, insects do have brains, she corrects you. But yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far. I think I agree. As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up, they're not moving. What's with the rotor blades and skis? They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tallulah or Tumatiri or Kashkor or wherever he is. What do these transmissions say? The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns. Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you. Men like that are a curse. The lieutenant is stern. Okay, he feels strongly about this. Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess. Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long. Random, but I like random. I found a strange machine. Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Whirl. That's understandable. Fantasies are serious things. The mind is the drawing board of history. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seem to be chronically liberal with their schedules. What do you mean? What happened? The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. What went wrong? Well, I did hear them talking at times. She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest. She sounds almost mocking when she says that. It did look quite impressive. Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time. Okay, showing up on work is incredibly hard. And so is producing something extraordinary. Her eyes wander to the shelves full of die prototypes and discarded models. Anything else? Gosh, so much. We're almost done, though. There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar. Oh boy, the fabled Revachol Ice City. You're in for a treat there. She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian, ready to tell a story. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now, ask me about their other ideas, okay? What about the other ideas? There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. Okay? And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing. She leans back, disapproving. This is like the girl working at the convenience store earlier in the game. Sounds like she really doesn't know how to be a female ally. Okay, that's our inexplicable feminist agenda speaking, I think. Freet does the same thing, like I just said. I know a girl just like that. Employing sulky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol Ice City. And they already had the bear. She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. Well, what about the bear? The bear, she repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples, like trying to suppress a headache. Sounds like she was traumatized, you know? So it didn't work out. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work out too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost a price war to its rival, Glacier 5000. Glacier 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges. I'm sure the bear was doing its best. Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't doing his best, I mean. How come? He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. He called it Megatherion. That is a cool name, I gotta say. Megatherion. Sounds cool, right? Like, man, we're on the same wavelength here, game. Why is everybody doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist. Megatherion. Megatherion, nods the dice maker. A mega wild beast. What is a mega wild beast? It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly. I do drugs. I've got a vision beast myself. Do you? The dice maker raises an eyebrow. Well, good luck keeping it under control. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire. She seems almost sad finishing the story. Alright, last one. I found the building's intercom, but it's not working. Oh, right. She rubs her forehead. Her scarf has left a faint line on her dusky skin. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion. It's cool. The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her. Okay. That's right, I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet. I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same complex? You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the same project. That explains why you can call the Whirling from Intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds. If the Whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there too. I saw a name, East Delta Pinball, on the doorbell. Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, she raises her finger, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, choreography, trick track, especially pinball. I'm so bad at pinball. Agreed, the lieutenant chips in. Pinball is the worst. I mean, I'll play pinball if it's free, but I don't like pinball. I'm not good at it, and it seems completely random, so. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream SCA. Someone answered. She looks like she doesn't really believe you. It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Pleasance from the bookstore. It wasn't. I would have recognized her. All right, but did the person say anything? She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics. Tricentennial Electrics. There's a moment before she recognizes the name. It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you? No, I think it was something very weird. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress or... Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank. No, it was something else. Something eerie. Pranks can be eerie. She looks as if she's still convinced it's nothing to be worried about. The kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. I think we've done it, y'all. We're not going to try this check because there's no way we're going to pass it. So, can we go have we checked out the curse? Investigate doomed commercial area. Report back to Pleasance about your findings. Okay, we did. We're done. Perform an advanced analysis using hand-eye coordination. Right, we haven't done that yet. But okay. We've got an antique rifle. We've got the bowl. Okay, maybe well, okay, we'll go talk to Plaisance, the bookstore owner. That'll be our next stop, and we'll wrap up that whole quest, I think. And I guess we'll just see how it goes. Oh, you know... Oh, no, this is fine. This is fine. Okay. Thought we were going the wrong way, but... this will work. Ah. Okay, it is getting late in the day here. 20:45. I think at 2100 is when people in the city start going to bed and the streets start emptying out. All right, let's quick save. And let's say hi to Plaisance. Tell her about the curse.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus.
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear. It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore.
I knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us. But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker. A novelty dice maker? Her eyes widened. Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep. No, ma'am, I have felt her aura. She is not the one to blame for this curse. I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse? She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Yikes. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire? Let's do it. The source is the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, how horrid. I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse? I called upon the spirit of Guillaume Le Millon to banish the curse in a flash of disco brilliance. Okay, we have not internalized the Guillaume Le Millon thought, but apparently that's okay. That's what we're going to go with. Disco brilliance. Guillaume Le Millon? The singer who made that awful face? Well, I do see the resemblance. She looks at you with sudden admiration. Thanks, lady. All that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time until we're fully free of it, of course, but still. Thank you, officer, truly. You've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement. Congrats, everybody. She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything. All right, then. All's well that ends well. The lieutenant turns to you. Should we return to our ordinary lives? All right. Farewell for now, book peddler. All right. We put a point into one of our stats last level up, so let's go ahead and unlock another thought cabinet slot. And which one do we want to go with here? Let's go with actual art degree. Pretty random. I just feel like going with that one. Okay. Okay. Revachol, Oranje, Clasia. I like that the game gives pronunciations for this stuff. Gosh, what do we want to do now? Let's see if the old men are still around. It might be too late to talk to them at this time of day. If so, that's fine, but we have lots... Oh, hey, a bag. Wow, we can finally pick up all the garbage that we see in the world. And I believe if we equip... Oh, there's a handwritten note from the fridge. Interesting. We missed this before. The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface. Does it say anything interesting? The lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder. This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Let's read it. Someone has scribbled S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home ASAP, it's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sulislaw. Oh, so this is why we would unplug those things. There's something hidden in the ice cream maker. Well, we didn't know that, so we had no reason to interact with it after we unplugged it. Wonder who wrote that note. Looks like someone from the radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here. Maybe it's because of the entity. That's implausible, Kim says. Alright, who's the illiterate ginger kid? I mean, it's gotta be Kuno, right? Really? The lieutenant looks at you. The corner of his mouth curved into a smug grin. You don't have a single guess. You mean Kuno? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory, even if he doesn't know what to do with it. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed based on our encounter. Okay. We did see one right next to the breaker box. Okay, cool. Well, we'll be back there later anyway. Let's unequip our flashlight. I don't think we need that out here. Is this Renee? I think it's Renee. Yeah, this is the old guys we wanted to speak to.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
I found a new one. The old veteran stares at the shot put ball in silence, then speaks in a reserved voice. What is this? Are you mocking us? This isn't for Patunk. Now, no need to get angry again, Renee. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez. I really did try. I really did. Trying is worth as much as is accomplished. In this case, almost nothing. I'm sorry. Task complete. Is there anything you can tell me about this rifle? Let's hold out the antique firearm. It's a Belle Magrave, he says, taking the rifle. 4.46 caliber, breech loading, Revachol made. Good weapon, accurate and reliable. His moves are quick and precise as he first checks the weapon, then aims it at the sea. This man knows firearms intimately. This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty, he adds, handing the rifle back. Where did you find her? In the basement. I'm not surprised. He looks at the building. There are probably lots of forgotten wartime weapons lying around here. Back in the day, everyone had something stashed away. As for the rifle, I don't know what else to tell you. He shrugs. These BM 446s are an antique. No one uses them anymore. The ammunition is impossible to find. Right, I found your guard booth. Yes, the Debradairs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man, don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight. You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Yes, it does look right into the yard. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday. So why are you on leave? It's a private matter, nothing to do with your investigation. You see, officer, Rene is the kind of man who'd rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, seek it. A real man's man. He's just gonna write it out. I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. The outburst makes him clutch his chest. Oh, it's nothing, just gotta cut back on coffee. So who was working your shift that night? No one. The booth has been unmanned since last Monday. He suddenly looks old and tired. There's no other guard. It's just me. So no one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday. Yes, he nods before hesitantly continuing. It's not actually an issue. I mean, look, officers, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before Rene. Mr. Clare had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative. Mostly decorative. The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals, he tries to argue. Everard created this job for Rene because he knows the Royal Carabineers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated kingsman collecting terror reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words. There's absolutely nothing wrong with terror collecting. It's my side thing, too. Sure. Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with it, the jolly man says quickly. I do it, too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing. Yes, 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 the carabineer utters angrily. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now? So I saw a picture there. You were in it. Who is the girl? His face stiffens, and he gets a cold look. She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM. The lady is Jean-Marie Bellieu. Gaston speaks with a soft voice. But she sure as hell wasn't a nobody. We have a much higher chance of passing this check. Composure. Let's not ask it yet. Let's talk to Gaston here.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
He takes a bite out of his sandwich.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat arse of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
Honey, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day?
I feel like I talked to these guys earlier, but this conversation, it's like... Well, yeah, because we threw their ball away by accident, and I felt like shit. But okay. You mentioned Jean-Marie Bellieu. Who is that? Oh, sweet Jeannie. He gets a dreamy look in his eyes. She was the finest woman in all of Revachol. Maybe the entire world. Do not defile her memory, Gaston. There's an almost imperceptibly small tremble in his voice. Let her rest in peace. So you both know her. We knew her, all right. His friendly face lights up. Lived on the same street our entire lives, just 2 houses apart. The 3 of us have been best friends since we were 4. She was Rene's first girl, back when the prick was 16. He looks at the carabineer almost gently. They were courting till he decided he'd rather die for some great ideal than just be happy. And then you stole her from me. He jerks forward, but then grabs his chest and stops. Easy, guys. No need for this to get ugly. Oh, officer. Gaston is unfazed by the outburst. It already got ugly nearly 80 years ago when the three of us were just learning to walk and talk. You stole her from me, Rene repeats, trying to steady his breathing and still clutching his chest. Well, technically you stole her from me because we've been pretty close ever since you two had that falling out over the ink you spilled over her pretty yellow dress. We were just boys then. This was different. You, the tall veteran looks at you and nods. No point starting this all over again for the 1000th and the first time, especially when we have company. Officer? Well, what happened to her? She died of pneumonia 2 winters ago. It was a quiet passage. Peaceful. He smiles faintly. Renee and I were both by her bedside when she... He pauses, searching for the right word. Died. He sharply fills the silence and adds, no use sugarcoating it. Won't bring her back, will it now? Departed. His partner finishes his sentence, then chuckles. Until the very end, she couldn't decide between us. The most indecisive woman I've ever met. Wow. 80 years of that. Okay. Why do you think she was indecisive? She can never make up her mind about anything. What to have for breakfast, favorite color, or which one of us to marry. The look in his eyes is happy and distant. She was always leaving one of us for the other, but never long enough to actually get married. Nothing wrong with weighing your options first. Heck, he says with a chuckle. Technically, we're both still engaged to her. Oof. Renee, you always confused her. Couldn't let us be happy, he says with heavy resentment. Seduced her with your fancy words and pastries. I mean, I am easily seduced with pastries. Let it be known. He suddenly remembers you are still there, falls silent, and turns away. Thank you for sharing. Of course, officer. Memories are all we have left. What do you know about the dead man? Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week, but that's all I know. Must have heard something. No, officers, I'm sorry, and I really would like to assist. You're both good guys, I can see that. Then help them, you wimp. You rub plenty of shoulder with the gauche caviar in the Union. Someone must know something. He means caviar socialists. Interesting term. I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. His cheeks turn red. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that. I don't believe you. Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here. Sounds a bit like you're holding back, sir. I'm not, he assures you. I'm not even anyone... Of course he's holding back. The carabiner crosses his arms. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly. Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, Renee? His eyes are furious. I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Everard. Okay. Everard is the head of the Union. There are 2 Everards, they're brothers. But how do you know him? Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers, he says solemnly. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium. What do you know about history? The carabiner snaps at Gaston. You never witnessed history, only heard about it, years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history. The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid, and alone, like a cracking marble statue. Oof. Let's try not to get caught in the crossfire. The lieutenant lowers his voice. Are you a Union member? Oh, his cheeks turn red again. In many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Everard, Edgar, and the older debuteurs, I'm not saying that word correctly, all know me. In many ways? Oh yes, so you're not an actual member. Not in the technical sense. His eyes fix on the bulls in the crater. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Everett keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things. So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your and Renee's eyes. Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He frowns. He's a weather vane, turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. It's amazing these guys have been friends all these years after the vitriol between them. I hate the socialist rabble, he continues, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence, never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already. What are the little things you do for Everett? Writing work, mostly. Occasionally he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Well, what kind of things do you write for him? Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers about Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Everett and I have these long talks where he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself. Are you caviar socialist? I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer. How can you write those newspaper pieces if you're not political? Officer, I have a vivid imagination. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough. No need to sink into politics. I'm popping my microphone around here. He just fluffs it up. Of course, don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch. Damn, Renee. So you are a weather vane? I prefer highly adaptable myself, he chuckles merrily. Has a better ring to it, don't you think? He has no shame, that's fair. Mon Dieu. The carabinier closes his eyes like he's never going to open them again. Okay, bye. Alright, let's save. How about our legendary check here with Renee?
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles.
All right, let's dig into this a little more. I understand Jean-Marie meant a lot to you. There's nothing for you to understand here, he snaps. It is not her death you're investigating. What happened with you all? I was 22 when I returned from King Guillaume's Akira operation in the south, and found my sweetheart in the arms of this wretch. The Akira operation was a 7-year campaign during which Suzerain Guillaume's army forcefully united the people in the southeastern part of Le Petit Continent, collectively known as the Akira tribes, under the Rovacholian banner. He gives Gaston a hateful look. I won her back, but while I was dealing with some issues. You were like a dark cloud, sucking the joy out of every living thing around you. And you, he quickly glances at you, you hurt her. He looks down at his boots, lips moving, but the words are inaudible. Those days and memories are gone. He nods and looks Renee with something resembling compassion. The old soldier says nothing, but when his glance quickly runs over Gaston's face, there's an odd look in his eyes. Alright, let's leave. Let's see if we have any gear for composure. I genuinely don't remember. No. Let's ask him. I mean, we can try again if we fail.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles.
What is it about this old soldier that makes him stand so proud? We failed that check. All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon. He catches your glance and nods. This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Fristle I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philippe V before him. Don't you mean Fristle the Fun? You do not speak his name, Craven. Although he was a clown, he adds, but he was our clown. Ours to ridicule and to mourn. There's something you missed. You'll get to it, don't worry. Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Well, I'm starting to think this is a good spot to call it for the evening. We're going for a little over 2 hours. And it's getting close to my bedtime, everybody. So, let's see if we got anybody we can raid. Let me switch to this. It's late. I don't always have anyone that I know to raid, but I'm open to suggestions if anybody has them. Well, hey, Izzy is streaming. Let's see what she's up to. She's playing something called Old School Musical, which I don't know what that is. And looking at her stream, it looks retro. I'm not entirely sure that they're the same thing, but we're going to give her a raid. So, let me get this going here. Let's see if I did this right. I'm trying this in the chat rather than through the Twitch interface. We'll see how it goes. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate all of you, whether you're chatting or lurking. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all very soon.